Welcome all of you to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. Myself Sunetra Katekar. Today I am going to start the program of SYIT semester 4th. The course name is Introduction to Embedded System. So I am from Department of IT CS. Okay, now today's topic is Core of Embedded System. Okay, then today I am going to cover this topic, this contents, which is sensors and actuators, communication interface, embedded firmware, other system components, characteristics and quality attributes of embedded system, operational and non-operational quality attributes. Okay, let us see sensors and actuators. Okay, what is meant by sensors? So a sensor is a device that measures physical input from its environment and converts it into data that can be interpreted by either a human or a machine. Okay. So a sensor is used for taking input. It is a transducer that converts energy from one to another for any measurement or control purpose. Communication interface. Next is communication interface, which is they are powerful special purpose 8 or 16 or 32 bit microprocessors. So it designed specifically to meet the computational demands and power constraints of today's embedded audio, video and communication applications. So now we all are using this multimedia. So we have to do or we have to use this embedded system, which is we can say ki communication interface. So digital signal processors are 2 to 3 times faster than general purpose microprocessor in signal processing applications. So this is because of the architectural difference between the two. Now digital signal processors can be viewed as a microchip designed for performing a high speed computational operations for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, these are the interface between the communication we are using. Now next point is embedded firmware. So we know the embedded firmware is a flash memory chip that stores specialized software running in a chip in an embedded device. It related to memory which device to control its function. So that firmware in embedded system fills the same purpose as a ROM but can be updated more easily for better adaptability to conditions or interconnecting with additional equipments. So we know about the ROM, which is already existing the programs in our ROM. So we can only use this ROM, which is a read-only memory. So that is a embedded firmware. There are various methods available for developing the embedded firmware. So we can create the programs in high-level language like embedded C or C++ using an integrated development environment, that is our IDE, which contains an editor, compiler, linker, debugger, simulator, etc. Okay, now next method is available for embedded firmware. We can write the assembly language also using instructions supported by our applications, target processor or controllers. Means there are two various methods which we have to developing the embedded firmware. First one is in high level language and second one is assembly language. Okay, this is all about embedded firmware. Now next point is, already we have seen this different components of embedded system. Now other system components are, that is the first one is reset circuit. In our system, the reset circuit is very essential to ensure that the device is not operating at a voltage level where the device is not guaranteed to operate during system power on. So the reset signal can be either active high or active low. So some microprocessors or microcontrollers contain built-in internal reset circuitry and they don't require external circuitry. So there are maybe inside the reset circuitry, so that they don't have require external circuits for using. Again, next point is brownout protection of our component which has in embedded system, which is a circuit brownout protection circuit. It causes unexpected when we do the some during the program, it causes unexpected behavior in our system, sometime error, sometime problems in our system. This digital control circuit, so that is a brownout protection. Brownout protection circuit prevents and that behavior, unexpected behavior, this components prevents the processor or controller from unexpected program execution or behavior. That is the purpose of brownout protection circuit. So certain processor controllers support built-in brownout protection circuit. So these are the components of embedded system, a reset circuit or a brownout protection circuit. Now third one is oscillator unit. So oscillator unit is a microprocessor or microcontroller is a digital device made up of digital combinational and sequential circuits. So oscillator is an electronic circuit that produces a periodic oscillating electronic signal, often a sine wave or a square wave. So these are the characteristics of oscillator, which oscillator converts direct current from a power supply to an alternative signal, that is DC to DC from an alternative current which is AC signal. So oscillator unit generates clock signals or synchronizing the operations of the processor. Again, oscillator is like a heart. We can say that this is a heart and clock pulse is like the heartbeat. It's a very important component in our embedded system. So next one is watchdog timer. So watchdog timer watchdog configuration is control user software. So that is it may even be used as a general purpose timer in some cases. So external watchdog timers are integrated circuits that physically assert the reset pin of the processor. So the processor must assert an output pin in some fashion to reset the timing mechanism of the watchdog. So that is related to our timing, or to set the timer, reset the timer in our watchdog timer. So this is the component which controlling the our timings or setting reset the times. Next is real time clock, which is RTC. In every system we have seen this RTC, which is real time clock. As it is a system component responsible for keeping track of time. We have to do these things which we should take the every time for keeping the track or keeping the track of time hour. So that is an important component which is RTC. Now our next point is characteristics and quality attributes of embedded system, which is first one is application and domain specific. So an embedded system is a design for a specific purpose only. So it will not do any other task. That is, some systems are for general purpose, but this is a special purpose, that is a domain specific. So example, a washing machine can only wash, it cannot cook, like that. So certain embedded systems are specific to a domain. Some are the particular for device, made for particular device. So that is an example. A hearing aid is an application that belongs to the domain of signal processing. This is a application and domain specific. So second is reactive and real time. That means certain embedded systems are designed to react the events that occur in the nearby environment. So these events also occur real time. For example, an air conditioner adjusts its mechanical parts as soon as it gets a signal from its sensor to increase or decrease the temperature when the user operates it using a remote control. That means it will getting the exactly temperature of outside or in our from our check the in our room whatever the temperature, and it adjusts the temperature like increase or decrease through the sensor. So this is the reactive and real time. The third characteristics is operation in harsh environment. In this, certain embedded systems are designed to operate in harsh environment, like very high temperature of the desert or very low temperature. It means extreme case when we faced in different extreme cases, that time it's a operation, we can say ki operation in harsh environment. So mountains or extreme rains, this is a example for harsh environment. So these embedded systems have to capable of sustaining the environmental conditions. That means it have to be capable to sustaining the environment, what is the environmental conditions it is designed to like operate this or in. Next is a distributed. Certain embedded systems are part of a large system and thus for components of a distributed system. So these components are independent of each other but have to work together for the larger system to function properly. Example, a car has many embedded systems like control to its dashboard. Each one is an independent embedded system, yet the entire car can be said to function properly only if all the systems work together. So there are different functions which they are work together. Next is small size and weight. So an embedded system that is a compact in size and has light weight, so will be desirable or more popular than one that is a bulky and heavy. So for example, currently available cell phones. So already we all using this cell phones. The cell phones that have the maximum features are popular, but also their size and weight is an important characteristics. So for convenience, users prefer mobile phones or tablet, etc. Now next characteristics is power consumption. So this is a very important characteristics which is in our system, which power concerns. It desirable that the power utilization and heat dissipation of any embedded system be low. So if more heat is dissipated, then additional units like heat sinks or cooling fans need to be added to the circuit. So if more power is required, then a battery of higher power is more batteries need to accommodated in the embedded system. So all about the characteristics of and quality attributes of embedded system. Now our next point is operational and non-operational quality attributes. So first one is operational attributes. There are most important, which is a response. It is a measure of quickness of the system. That is a response. So it gives you an idea about how fast your system is tracking the input variables, or most of embedded system demands fast response, which should be real time. Now each and every person or human being have fast response, so that is a operational attributes in our system. So throughput, it deals with the efficiency of the system. It can be defined as a rate of production or process over a static period of time. Now third one is reliability. So this, it is the measure of how much percentage you rely upon the proper functioning of the system, mean time or between failure and mean time to repair. That means the timing between failure and repairing. So are the terms used in defining system reliability. Now fourth one is maintainability. So maintainability deals with support and maintenance to the end user or client in case of technical issues and product failures of routine system checkup. So that is a maintenance to throughout our life cycle of this system. Again, security. Security is our key or it's a best operational thing which is important in our system. So confidentiality, integrity and availability, these are the CIA, which at three corners stones of information security, so that confidential data deals with the protecting data from unauthorized disclosure, or integrity gives the protection from unauthorized modification, and availability gives the protection from unauthorized person. These three are very essential in our operational quality attributes. Now next is non-operational attributes, which is testability and debug ability. Means we have to before this using this system, we have to test this first, and after that will debug this system. So that is the ability which deals with the how easily one can test his or her design application, by which means he or she can test it in hardware testing. So the peripherals and total hardware functions in designer manner. Now firmware testing is a functioning in expected way. So second is time to prototype and market. Time to prototype or a time to market is the time elapsed between the conceptualization product and time at which product is ready for selling or use. So product prototyping, there are some protocols or some rules and regulations are given to this product. So it help in reducing time to market. So prototyping is an informal kind of rapid product which development in which important features of the under consider the development or develop this product. So next is per unit and total cost. So these are in non-operational attributes, which is cost is important factor which needs to be carefully monitored. So proper market study and cost benefit analysis should be carried on before taking decisions on the per unit cost of the embedded product. So this is the all about of our core of embedded system, which is the most important part. So thank you very much.